Welcome to Nightique. I'm Edward St. Pé. Well, it's a pleasure tonight to bring you a local musician from Meridian, Mississippi, Tony Pasko, who is the guy behind the scenes creating the music for one of the big shows on network television, on cable network television. That's Duck Dynasty. All of the music, or at least much of it, that you hear on that show is created right here in Meridian by Tony Pasko, a great musician. We're going to meet him. We're going to hear him play next on Nightique.
Since 1849, Carter Jewelers has been a part of Jackson's rich history. Over 163 years later, we've not only survived, Carter Jewelers has flourished. From generation to generation, we've established a tradition of excellence. Our reputation is built on customer satisfaction, service, and trust. Every piece of jewelry is handpicked, so you know you're getting the best value.
Nobody says I do like we do at Carter Jewelers.
Come see us and be part of our history.
Ingalls Shipbuilding is hiring electricians, structural welders, machinists, ship fitters, pipe fitters, and pipe welders in our Pascagoula, Mississippi site. Signing bonuses available for pipe welders only. Positions are union represented. Come build your career with Ingalls Shipbuilding. Go to www.huntingtoningalls.com/careers or call 888-935-1507.
Well, we'd like to welcome Tony Pasko. Tony, welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Now, you are the person that does the music for Duck Dynasty, among other television programs.
Yes, I'm one of the writers.
And so you are here, based in Meridian.
Yes.
And what a great story. I mean, tell us about the story. How in the world did Duck Dynasty, one of the big hits in reality TV, find the music via a person living in Meridian and working out of Meridian?
I've been very blessed. I mean, it's very lucky. Originally born in Chicago and had the pleasure of coming down and living in Meridian, Mississippi for the last 10 years. And I got signed to a record label. It's funny, working within the music industry, I worked for PV for a number of years, and that opened a lot of doors for me and allowed me to meet lots of people and build these friendships and these relationships. And the 80s rock band Warrant, Cherry Pie and all that, Jerry and Eric and the guys, I've known them for a number of years. And it was funny, they were starting their record label, and I knew them, and of course they extended themselves and said, hey, you have any music you want to get out? And of course they thought, I had something to say and musically, so of course I had a lot of material just sitting around, so I sent it to them, and of course it was all over the place. It's so many different styles of music. I've always had record labels. That was always been my downfall. I always get these rejection letters from record labels saying, yeah, it's good, but pick a style and just be that. Be a blues guy or be a rock guy, and I would send them stuff. I always dabbled in a lot of different styles of music. And then, so when I sent it to them, obviously it was no different. It was all over the place. And the guys at that time knew getting into television was one of the segments they wanted to do with their record label, so they said to me, do you mind if we start sending this stuff in? And I said, sure. So they did, and where being versatile was actually a strength for TV, they came back and said, have you ever heard of a show called Duck Dynasty? A&E just took them on, and so right after season 1, so this was right before season 2. I never heard of it. And they even said to me, it's a hunting show. That's what they said. So I'm thinking, oh, it's some outdoor hunting show. We had no idea what it was. And I said, well, what are they looking for? And he's like, music from where you live. Because they're in Louisiana, you're in Mississippi, so give us local flavor stuff. So I'm like, okay, so lots of dobro and acoustic guitar and slide guitar and banjo and all that stuff. So I sent in a bunch of tracks. I've never done it before, so I had no idea what I was doing. And I didn't hear anything back for a while, so I figured, oh, they didn't like it because I've never done it. So it was probably not very good. And then the label came back and said, they really like those tracks that you sent in. They want more of them. And I was like, okay. So I came up with a bunch of other ideas and sent those in. Again, didn't hear anything back for a while. And I called my label up and said, okay, well, anything going to happen with those tracks? And they're like, well, yeah, they actually used them. It's all over season 2. You're going to have to watch A&E because I guess they used a bunch of them. And I was like, oh, okay. And then all of a sudden it blew up. into what it is today of you know, Duck Dynasty, and you know, we just stumbled upon it that way. It became the #1 show. We broke a record. 11.8 million was the season 4 opener. It was the most non-scripted watched cable show in cable history, or something like that, TV show in cable history. And I had a lot of music on that one. And again, I have to say, if it wasn't for the Warrant guys having, you know, seen something in me and having the connection, and then there are other writers, of course, so we're all, you know, just a group of us doing it. But that's, from my personal story, that's how I got involved, and we helped shape this thing, because 2.5 years ago, and I don't mean to sound this way, but there wasn't a whole lot of dobro or slide guitar you heard on TV, and now you hear it on Geico commercials and McDonald's commercials and stuff. So, you know, that's a little bit of flavor. Music that was started here in Mississippi that we've given to the world. That was a gift, you know, and I would feel very honored to have the little part to maybe reintroduce it to the general public again, because this is music that started here.
So, okay, Duck Dynasty. Now, because of that, other television shows have come calling. Tell us what other programs you're working with.
I'm currently, we've done 14 shows now. Of course, Duck Dynasty is still the biggest one. That's the one everyone remembers us by. But we do Wahlburgers and Shark Week, and that Donnie Loves Jenny offshoot, Auction Hunters, Wicked Tuna, Lockup, which is on MSNBC. We do that one. So there's been quite a few. Savage Family Diggers, Fat and Furious, car shows, prison shows, you know, all those kind of, Hollywood Hillbillies is another one on Reels. So it's been this snowball effect, and they don't all want the same type of music. So that's where, like, my mom, she tries to watch the show. She's like, I don't know which tracks are yours. I'm like, Ma, there's no way to tell. Because I could be playing rock on one show, like Wahlburgers. You know, they don't want dobro, they want rock music. You know, so it changes, and here's where being versatile, you know, growing up as a musician, now that's, I think, is my strength. That's what gets me on the shows, I think, and why so many of my tracks do get used.
So you have an album of your own material coming out in March?
Yes.
So tell us about it, and how does one get it?
It's actually my third record. The first one was the Noise record, and came out through my label, and then I followed that up with the Christmas record that I did, the Band of Elves. And this is the new one. It will be out the end of next month of March. It's called Out of Nowhere, and it's just an instrumental. It picks up where the Noise record kind of left off. What I like about this particular album, and again, there's versatility. I can't help it. It's acoustic, it's electric, it's, you know, just kind of what I do. You'll probably hopefully hear a lot of the tracks all of a sudden show up on TV, because again, that's what I do. So now it's funny, I used to write songs and pray they would get on TV. Now I write songs specifically, I write songs for TV and use some of that stuff for my own material. And so it's kind of funny how it's kind of flipped being an artist. Now I think about what's going to get used, or what TV show would like this track or that
so it's
track.
called Out of Nowhere?
Out of Nowhere.
And so later in March, where can people buy it?
Yeah, anywhere you download music. I'll probably do a limited edition run of CDs eventually, but everything's online. Everything lives online nowadays. And what's great about being an artist in the music industry today, like I was saying before, even though the industry is down and so many things have happened in the music industry, it's really the Wild West. And artists like myself, I can put out music worldwide, and people can get right to it. All you need is an internet connection. Go right to iTunes, go to Amazon.com. Anywhere where you buy music, you'll find me, and you'll be able to download and get it.
So the distribution methodology has changed label-wise to a great extent, but for the artist, it's an empowering. Digital is empowering.
It really is. But you got to do the work. You know what I mean? It is nice to have a record label. I'm not going to lie, but I got to do it. I got to do the work myself, though. I got to, you know, record the music, write the music, get it out there, get it the way I want. I got to put it up. I get to represent my own brand. Now, of course, I can hire management and PR people and do all that other stuff, but again, it's the more cooks in the kitchen scenario. You know, if you really, as an artist, want your fans, you know, to see who you really are and represent yourself truly, just do it yourself.
Interesting. Now, you're going to play for us after
I
the break.
can, sure.
So we're going to hear some Duck Dynasty stuff?
I will. I'll play a little slide guitar for you.
And a few other things, right?
Sure, absolutely.
That's
Whatever you
great.
want.
Well, great. We're looking forward to That's Tony Pasko with us tonight, and we'll be back with Tony after this.
I'm Dr. Quinn, and I believe in the power of exercise. Many patients ask me if they're going to get high blood pressure or diabetes because their parents had these conditions. I tell them that we cannot control our genetics, but we can control our diet and level of exercise. Practicing healthy decisions result in a better outcome. I'm Dr. Quinn, and I want you to remember that you have control.
I thought what may be kind of neat is to show off for the state of Mississippi the Americana thing. Since I made the reverse track to Mississippi, that's why I always thought that's always kind of maybe been my edge a little bit, where I can go to all these cities and talk to these musicians and see where this music came from and talk about, you know, it would be great for tourism for the state of Mississippi and to talk about, because we're one of, well, actually we're the only state in all of the United States where this music, you know, is all over the world. This was a gift that Mississippi gave to everybody. me being a musician, and it would be great that, you know, you can have this jam session type of feel where you go into the places where Robert Johnson played here, or here's the Crossroads, or here's where, you know, you go and visit the B.B. King Museum and talk about where he came from, that there is something in the water and something in the air, and, you know, and then of course you talk about the art and the literature, and you talk about the food, because that all goes along with it. And I always thought that how great would it be for the state of Mississippi to have like its own almost like travel channel, where people, you know what I mean? Where people from everywhere else can see, hey, this is a cool place. I'm going to go there for my vacation or spring break.
Since 1849, Carter Jewelers has been a part of Jackson's rich history. Over 163 years later, we've not only survived, Carter Jewelers has flourished. From generation to generation, we've established a tradition of excellence. Our reputation is built on customer satisfaction, service, and trust. Every piece of jewelry is handpicked, so you know you're getting the best value.
Nobody says I do like we do at Carter Jewelers.
Come see us and be part of our history.
Tony, that was fantastic, man.
Thank
It
you.
was just beautiful.
Thank you.
And so now that song, "While My Guitar Gently Weeps," is on the new record.
Yes. Yeah. You know, it's a George Harrison song. So,
Yeah.
And I play it just one acoustic guitar. It's one take, you know, on the record. And,
So you were telling me the theme from The Godfather is also on this?
that's how the album opens. Is again single acoustic
Acoustic, right?
guitar. Yeah. So I do the theme from The Godfather. And it
Just play
opens.
just a little bit. I'm
It
sure
just
you pick
starts
it up.
off. Yeah. Just. So that's all it is.
It's got to be one of the most iconic songs in the history of film ever. I mean, of course, if you're a Godfather fan,
Oh,
you know it well.
yeah,
But I mean,
well.
I mean, you're
I'm Italian,
half
yeah.
Italian.
Yeah.
I'm Italian, half
Yeah.
Italian.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, we grew up listening to it, but it still resonates. It's so beautiful. It's hauntingly beautiful.
Well, and that particular song, you know, and especially what I do now with TV and everything, I never realized how much music growing up that you took from watching TV and stuff. And I knew all these little things because I had this good habit or bad habit growing up. Of course, I'd always sit with, I have guitars all over my house. So when I watch TV, I don't just watch TV, and my wife will tell you how annoying I can be because I'll play everything on TV as it's being played. You know, so I would learn commercials, and I've done this my whole life. You know, I'd be watching some, and it'd be like, you know, and I would just pick up whatever it is, and that's just how it is, you know. And but so now now I hear my own music on TV. It's kind of neat. It's almost like full circle kind of thing. But I still do that to this day. And that song, that the Godfather thing, I recorded it a while ago, and I've just been sitting on it, and it's just getting to where getting this music out there as musicians, I almost, and I'm very much this way as a musician, I'm so critical of myself at times where I almost have to get over myself and just be like, you know what, get it out there. You just got to let it go. Why are you holding on to it for?
So Duck Dynasty, so that, would you consider that your break in television, right?
Yes.
So now, Spike Television, other networks.
Yeah, MSNBC, Discovery Channel, you know, Nat Geo, and all
So,
Spike
what do
TV.
you get any feedback from these guys when they're when they're talking to you? I mean, this music for these network shows coming out of Meridian, Mississippi, that's an anomaly.
Well, yeah, I guess.
I mean, within the scope of music for national television shows, it's got to be a first.
And you know, and I have nothing to do with that, of course. I have to give credit where credit's due, of course, to my record label, you know, the guys at Warrant, you know, and also the editors at the production companies and stuff, because I got to tell you, I would never use, if I saw the scenes beforehand, you know, that they use my music in, I would have wrote something completely different. I'm too married to it, I guess, as a musician. Right. So they see it for whatever it is, and they put spots, or, you know, not even so much my music. I have to say, there's been plenty of scenes where I've heard the other writers' music and go, oh, I wish I would have wrote that. That was cool. That fits perfect for there. You know what I mean? And even my stuff, when I see it in the scene, I'll be like, oh, I never would have thought to put that there. I would have wrote something else.
You would have, like what? What's the disconnect? You think maybe something more up-tempo in a particular thing, or something slower, and they do the opposite? Yeah,
you know, they just hear something, you know, like when they say to me, and they give you these kind of odd type of lead-ins or descriptions. You know, they'll say, we need comedy cues for Psy, you know, in Duck Dynasty. So now I know what that means. And everything for me is tempo-based.
So what is a comedy piece?
Well, what I end up finding out, what they mean by that is it has a lot of like weird little pauses, which creates drama or creates something kind of funny. So if you're playing something that's you know, and then you know what I mean? It's those pauses that tend to create when you're looking at it visually. You know what I mean? It creates that laughter, or that creates that. Musically, I have no idea. We never were taught that. There's nothing in music language that says, this is the funny G, this is the hilarious C. You know what I mean? It's G and C. But where you put it in time-wise or tempo-wise, all of a sudden you put it in context, and they're fantastic at that. I couldn't do that.
You know, in film, everything changes when you add music to it.
Yeah.
You know? Well, Tony, we're out of time. It's been a real pleasure meeting you.
Thank you so much
man.
for having me.
Thank you so much for coming. We want to have you back again.
Please,
Good luck
anytime.
with Duck Dynasty and all the other shows. We're proud that you're here in Mississippi with us. So thanks.
Well, I'm proud to be here. Thanks
for taking the time to come.
Thank you.
That's Tony Pasko. Thank you for being with us, ladies and gentlemen, on this edition of Nightique. See you next time.